Hello everyone, I hope you all are good, doing well. So today we are here and we are going to complete one of the important theme, that is India-China relationship. I picked this theme from the Hindu newspaper of today, that is 16th of Jan 2025. This lecture is prepared by me. My name is Shama. Time and again I always emphasize to connect your material with your syllabus. If I connect this topic with our prelim syllabus, the question has been asked on the treaties like Panchsheel Agreement, which was signed in the year 1954, and there were a 5 point on which India and China got agreed in order to solve their territorial dispute. What was the 5 point? Let's have a quick recap. The first was the mutual respect. The both countries decided to respect the sovereignty of each other and territorial integrity. The another point was non-interference. They decided not to interfere into the internal conflict or internal issue of each other. Another point, third point was non-aggression. So they decided not to start the war with each other. Another point was the equality and mutual benefit. So they both decided to have a good relation and work with each other in order to have economical benefit and mutual benefit for the mutual benefit of each other. The last point was the peaceful coexistence. So you guys can remember the Panchsheel Agreement, and you can use this 5 point in your mains answer writing and essay also. Another area of question in prelims we have seen, that is map based question has been asked, be it Galwan Valley, be it Siachen Glacier. So you can use this, like you can connect this how the question has been asked, and you can prepare it accordingly. In GS paper 2 and GS paper 3 of a mains, you can connect it with IR and internal security topic. So this was the editorial which was in today's newspaper, that is and the author here try to explain very beautifully the region where the conflict has between India and China, that is the transboundary water issue which has been pointed out here, and the territorial dispute, that is border dispute between India and China cartographic aggression which has been done time and again, and he has provided very beautifully the way forward also. So I have take this point in our PDF also, and I request you also to read this at least highlighted point which I have provided here. So let's look our the relationship from the historical point of view also. So in ancient time also, a written record, if we could see, like we can see since 2nd century BC, we have a kind of a connection with China, and the Silk Road which was used in order to have a good economic relationship and cultural exchange, that has been done with this help of Silk Road. The another is we have seen the visits of Fayan, or we have seen the Henshan visit in India in order to have a good understanding and in order to have understanding about the Buddhism. So we have seen that Bodhidharma influence in the 5th century, which has given a kind of a new region, or which has given influenced a lot in terms of a Chinese martial art and philosophy. So this was the fodder which you can just look after it, like a spread of Buddhism and trade via Silk Road. Medieval time we have seen even the trade was continuing, political ties has reduced. A colonial period we have seen the opium trade, and that is another. This all point which I have here, we can have a one lecture on each topic. So I don't want to dwell so deep into that. Rather we will just have a overview. Next important topic, which important theme or sub theme I could say, which we can look after, the significance of India-China relationship. So geopolitical neighbor India, like China share 3,488 kilometer long border with India, and balancing power. India views China as a balancing force, and even we have seen how West see India and China as a different. They both has a different philosophy, and they both has a different kind of a international relationship also with the other countries. In terms of economic relation, like China is India's second largest trading partner, but we can see here that the amount which we import from China, the amount of goods and services which we import from China is far more than what we import to China. Border dispute is time and again in the news, and Indian Ocean dynamics. So this is the map which I have provided here in order to look after the disputed region between India and China. We can see we can further subdivide into western sector, middle sector and eastern sector. This eastern sector is what we call as a McMahon line. So here I have given a quick overview about the LOC, that is line of actual control. So this line of actual control which demarked or which separate Indian control territory from the Chinese territory. So here we can see that what the length which is claimed by India, that is 3488, and China consider it to be only 2000 kilometer. So this three sector which I have already explained, that is the eastern, middle and the western sector. So here we can see that eastern sector is known as McMahon line, that is around 1140 kilometer long. So here I have given another some like a point which has like a certain region which is a kind of a conflict zone, and you can point out this region in your map also and try to remember it if this region remain in the newspaper during or during your preparation time, like Depsang plain, that is in the northernmost part of Ladakh. Then we can say Damchok region, that is in the eastern Ladakh. Pangong Lake, we can see here Arunachal Pradesh. So I have tried to give a kind of a, like, I don't know how much you can connect this topic with this theme, but it is a kind of a zone where you should have, like, it is a subtopic where you should have a clarity what is LAC and what is LOC. So LAC is something which we have signed with China, and LOC is something line of control which we have signed with Pakistan. This both, like if I talk about the LOC, its emergence or its origin, you can trace it from in the year 1948, like the ceasefire line negotiated by the UN after the Kashmir war. So even we can see it was designated as LOC in the year 90 following Simla Agreement. So when the Simla Agreement was signed, that is in the year 1972, and it was signed during the Indira Gandhi region, and Zulfikar Ali Bhutto was the Prime Minister of Pakistan. So if we see the both LAC, and if I talk about the LAC, it is only the concept. It is not agreed upon by both the country, because the region or the, I could say, the length has been claimed by India is different and China is different. So neither, be it LOC or be it LAC, the neither has been demarcated on the map and not on the ground region. So that was just a overview which you can just for the information I have given this information, you guys can remember it, the difference between LOC and LAC. The contemporary issue we can see, like after 1962 war, we can see the territorial dispute is arising since then. The current issue, LAC and undefined LAC, the standoff Doklam and Galwan Valley in the year 2025 and 17, diplomatic mechanism we can see. The next important point which we can use, or which we can, from which the main question can be asked, that is the challenges between India and China relationship. The first challenges, even in today's newspaper, there are three challenges which was explained. The first was the water territorial dispute, like China has decided to build a dam on Brahmaputra river, so that has created a kind of a concern for India. So in water security we can see that. Another here, territorial dispute, like time and again we have seen China claim India's region with the help of their cartography, that is map they publish. They claim region of India also. Debt trap diplomacy, I have explained that India is not having a positive relation in terms of a trade, like we export less than what we import. The five finger of Tipat, that is important, like you have to remember this five region: Ladakh, Nepal, Sikkim, Bhutan, Arunachal Pradesh. So China tried to have a kind of a influence over this region, and this region, like be it Ladakh, be it Sikkim, be it Arunachal Pradesh, this all three region has a kind of a, these are the Indian territory, and so there is a threat in terms of this this region or the area of a conflict between India and China, I could say. Like here the string of pearl policy, which I have explained when I was explaining India and Bangladesh relationship. Like what China do, they try to have a military and port based their existence in another country, and they develop their own, they try to assert their um, policy over that region. Like I have talked about Gwadar port, in Pakistan. I have talked about Hambantota Port in Sri Lanka. So I will give you a pictorial also which you can use. The next is China's Slami silencing strategy. This is a strategy which is used by China, and what China do under this strategy, that like it is a kind of a geopolitical tactic, I could say. In a simple layman language, if I explain, then here China in like this, under this policy, it involves small action or series of small action in order to achieve a larger goal. So if I connect this slammy slicing strategy, I don't know whether I'm pronouncing it right or wrong. So at least you try to understand. Even though the today's newspaper, you can connect this policy of China. So what China is doing, there's are sometime they are having a kind of a presence over India territorial region in terms of their military, and now they are trying to build a kind of a dam over Brahmaputra river. So this is a smallest step which China take, because their long term goal is of what, in order to claim this territory under it. No doubt this is not going to happen, but you can connect this strategy of China, be it a string of pearls and be it salami slicing strategy. So you can use this both in your mains answer writing also. Cyber security challenges, like in the year 2020 itself, we have seen that AIMS computer was hacked, and the whole hacking was done from China itself. Trade imbalance, I already explained. Here you can use, see this China string pearl strategy. You can use this map in your answer writing. Like they try to claim the port, infrastructure and military presence in the foreign country. Next we can see string of pearls. I have explained about this 4 region that you can use, that Gwadar port, naval base of China. We can see Hambantota port, and the region which I have given here, you can just have a look after. This is just a global context. We can see the influence of China, like first geopolitical rivalry, Indo-China, like India's Indo-Pacific strategy, and China Belt and Border initiative. That is, China is trying to this BRI itself is a very important and another separate topic, but you could remember it how the both are having a kind of a different stand on this topic, on this theme. Next we can see the influence of global institution. Like we know that China is having a kind of a permanent veto, or having veto power in UN. The share of China is high in IMF. When we look after the in terms of India's share in IMF. The next we can see the soft power, Bollywood in China, yoga, Ayurveda. Like we can use this soft power in order to have a good relationship with China also. So here next we can see the measure India adopt to balance its relation with China, and you can also use it as a way forward also. So economic diversification and self-reliance, here like India's steps like Make in India policy, or India making India as a manufacturing hub for the mobile and the computer. So we can use this strategy in order to tackle the China dominance. Next we can say strategic military modernization. We can accelerate, or we can develop a new modern infrastructure development, be it along the LAC, and like we can also build our road infrastructure development is what we can do near that conflict region. Next we can see the regional leadership enhancement, which we can use. Diplomatic engagement is another area of a dialogue where we can have through which we can develop a kind of a balance between India and China relationship. Next we can see, if I talk about people to people relationship connection, like I have explained earlier also, like yoga, Ayurveda, and Bollywood, presence of Bollywood. Infrastructure development I already explained. I explained about the strategic partnership like Malabar naval exercise. We can have a kind of enhanced diplomatic dialogue between India and China. So these are the point which I have mentioned here, which we can use in order to have a good relation, or in order to balance in China and India relationship, and to have a peace in this region. Apart from that, we can see like China is not only a concern for India, but also for the other neighboring country also, be it Bhutan, be it Nepal also. So like India can use this neighboring country in order to face China. So we can develop this kind of a mutual agreement between another other neighboring country in order to face China. So I hope that's all. I don't want to exaggerate more on this, but the fodder which I have given might have given you certain kind of idea or helped you to enrich in your knowledge. So that's all from my side. See you soon. Till then, take care. Thank you.